Hi, this is Lynn again. Thank you for joining me, and I would like to continue with part 2 of the story of my ex-husband and the circumstances that molded me into becoming a human remains detection dog handler. So, starting from the point where I left off on part 1. He was completely controlling the entire relationship. He would call me constantly at work, harassing me, embarrassing me, and being just horrendous. He would come to my place of employment and completely freak out, accusing me of outlandish things. Now I know his accusations were confessions to his own behavior. I went from working in a bait shop to being a purchasing agent in transportation, to being a purchasing agent and administrative assistant in the plumbing company he also worked for to pacify him. I then worked at a different plumbing company to help him get enough signatures to get his plumbing license. He was a complete embarrassment there too. I fled that job in embarrassment over his actions, and I took a job as a bather in a pet grooming shop. I was instantly making more than I did working at my previous employers, and I was somewhat free of his surveillance. Over time, I learned to groom dogs and was finally doing better. I started building my own credit instead of trying to build for his benefit. Throughout my entire marriage, I had one firm rule: no hard drugs. He never abided by this. He just lied and told his friends and coworkers to lie too, that I went crazy when he did drugs. In fact, he went crazy when he did drugs and became abusive. Me fighting back, or reactive abuse, was what he called me going crazy. I thought he was on the right path, but he was in fact the one doing the biggest lines, smoking the most meth, taking the highest amount of acid, or doing whatever drug was in front of him and was in front of him. Meantime, I'm working, doing all the laundry, all the cooking, all the home repairs, all the yard work, and paying all the utilities and grocery bills. I was building a home, and he would freak out and smash everything because he dreamed I was cheating on him. None of it made sense, but I was too busy and stressed to see the truth. He was an addict. I was abused in every way possible, and this relationship was going to kill me if I did not escape. It all came to a head one day when I put a pair of his pants in the washing machine and a small baggie fell out. His brother was living with us and contributing nothing to me towards the cable bill, food bill, water bill, or groceries. I'd put a child lock on the internet to keep his brother from his porn addiction. Both my ex and his brother attacked me over the meth I threw away. His brother picked up a chair in the living room and threw it at me. I'm not talking about a kitchen chair. It was an oversized side chair from the living room furniture set. I called the police and filed a restraining order on both of them. I was unaware his meth dealer lived in the neighborhood. I was also unaware she was his married side piece. While I was working my ass off, he was actively destroying our lives. This man, who said he hated kids, moved in with a woman with 5 kids. I was mortified. I thought I would die from the pain. I cried every night over the agony and humiliation. I could see his truck in her yard across the valley on the ridge every day when I exited or entered the neighborhood. She was everything he said he would not tolerate in me. She didn't have a job. She had tons of kids. She watched soap operas. Because I was so messed up mentally from this man, I became competitive instead of leaving. She was selling drugs to lots of people in the neighborhood, so I was stalked by my ex, his lover, her husband, and everyone she sold meth to. I reacted by calling Child Protective Services and telling about her drug dealing and her many lovers being around her children. Her in-laws lived across the street from me, so I figured out this was a pattern for her. Sorry, I lost my path. Her infant at the time was fathered by her husband's brother. She would have a child, grow bored with them when they grew out of infancy, and then get pregnant again. She had lost one infant, so in my opinion, she never sought grief counseling. So the infant she lost, she kept trying to replace and trying to fill the hole in her heart with a new infant. She became pregnant, shockingly, by my ex. I told her to stop selling him drugs, but when I saw a text from her, I went to her home and tried to beat my way through the door. The door didn't give, but my hand did. I had to groom dogs with bruised up, lacerated hand. I waited until Friday when I knew she would be holding drugs, and I made an anonymous tip from the payphone at the store closest to my house. I was terrified someone would see me using the payphone and alert my husband, but no one did. And no one said anything if they did. I'll take a break and come back for a part 3.